Hello, today we're going to talk about read along. This is a great feature to help with literacy in Google Classroom that you can assign to your students. So, what we're going to do is I'm going to log into my practice class and open up that class. Next, I'm going to go to classwork. And under classwork, I'm going to click on create. And I'm going to just create an assignment. So once I click on assignment, you're going to see that you have a lot of features that you can attach down here. One of the things that we're going to be clicking on is read along. Once I click on read along, it's going to give me a little prompt of how it works. This is a great tool that you can have your students read a passage or have a passage read to them, and it will record their voice, and you can go back and listen to their recording, as well as it does analyze their fluency and comprehension with your Google Classroom. So for an example, here's the library. You can have a source as from read along, or you can bring in your own content. You have different languages that you can put it in, as well as you have leveled reading as well as decodables, and the decodables are tied in with Haggerty. Now we have you can choose based on Lexile or grade level. It goes only up to 6th grade. Then, which is an amazing feature, is for our dual language classrooms, you can provide English language support. So the directions will be in Spanish, but they're encouraged to read in English. And then you also have your categories from fiction, nonfiction, and poetry, and you can add questions to the end. Then the next feature, you can actually ask it to create an AI story. You give it the plot, you give it the information, as well as the required keywords that you would like. And this goes up to only from 1st to 5th grade. Now with this, it does take time, so you would need at least a day prior to creating these passages so that your material will be ready. And notice down here it does saying the system needs time to process so that it can align for your students. Then you also have add. When you click on add, you can actually bring in resources and paste them here so that read along can understand what you would like your students to be reading in. You can also choose the language as well for the support of the students. So this is great feature to help support your students if you want to listen to their fluency and their comprehension and have control over it in your Google Classroom. So as an example, we're going to create a activity. So we're going to do language is going to be in English. We're going to have a level reader. We're going to go by grade. We're going to go 3rd grade. And we're actually going to provide some Spanish support for my Spanish students reading in English in the dual language. So what we're going to click on is Miss Tiny Chef is going to be the book I'm going to choose. Now I can preview the book, go through it before I send it. And what's the big thing is I want to do the try student view first so I can see how it works. Once I click on try student view, this is what students will see. As a student, they can choose their support language. For this, I'm going to choose Spanish. So now you're going to notice that it's going to ask me to put on the microphone. I'm going to put yes. So it's going to ask me to read, and notice that it's prompting me in Spanish what it says. If I need help, I click on this little lady down here. So now it says Cassini is 8 years old. And now it's recording what I'm saying in English, but also if I click on the little person here on the bottom, she will provide me with instructions in Spanish to encourage me to read in English. So that's what students will see. Once I'm ready, I click on attach. It's going to give me the prompt of, do you want it as a silent reading where the kids read it to themselves and answer questions, or the read aloud, which I encourage because you want that comprehension as well as the reading data. You can also have it where the story is read to them and the students will listen to the audio and they just answer questions, and it does not collect reading data. So those are your choices. I like the read aloud. I'm going to click on read aloud, push done. Now it's going to give the title. I can give my instructions here. Read and answer the questions. Sorry, my typing is not the best at the moment. Now, all I have to do is assign it to my class. I can assign it to all students or just a few students. I'll give a due date, and then I can choose the topic that it's going to go in, put a grade if I choose, but I just want to have that reading data. So I'm going to assign it. Now it's going to go to my classwork. If I click on what I assigned, if I click on view instructions, you will see that if I click on now, if I want to see the student's information, I click on student work, and here I will have all of the recordings of the students' voices as they've read for read along. This is a great resource so that you can track your students' reading and you have access to actual live recordings of their reading, which you can share with parents to show them how they grow over the course of being in your classroom. So again, if I go back to my practice class, and if I want to create another one, go to create, assignment, and it will always be found here in the attached as read along. This will help support your students in reading fluency and comprehension.